No block, no rock. I kind of like this motto, and it's something that Ben Johnson has been saying to the wide receivers. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into what wide receiver allowed this to be a rallying cry for him, even though he got off to a bad start at practice today. But first, I haven't done this in a video for a while. Let's just say, if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, do it. We want to be your go-to place for Detroit Lions content. We have great beat writers. We have a lot of news on this team, and we're able to bring it to you kind of in video form, which is kind of fun. And also, of course, insert our own opinions as well. And we love hearing from you. So leave a comment, hit that subscribe button. But I was reading an article today, and it was from the Free Press. Dave Burkett put this out there, and he actually put together a pretty good article here. And it says, for Jameson Williams working to be the best, one day it's going to come. He says he wants to be the best. It didn't start off great at practice. He had his first day back after he suffered an injury, a hamstring injury on day 2 of camp. He dropped the first pass thrown his way. We've heard this story before. Like last year, he had 1 catch, he had 3 drops. We know where this goes, but we also know some things. So in this video, I'm going to talk about how he came back from it, the scuffle that he got in, and huge praise from CJ Gardner-Johnson. So hang on for those. But first thing he did, one of the first thing he did was he inserted himself into a sideline scrap with teammates during a blocking drill, then followed with 3 poor reps and one-on-ones. It wasn't great. Stumbled out of his break and dropped a pass on his first rep, then heard about it from rookie cornerback Starling Thomas, whose helmet Williams pulled off during the sideline scrap 1 period earlier. So they shoved each other a little bit with the drawing, but both parties returned to their side of the field. It looks like he's just a little bit frustrated. On the next rep, he couldn't get both feet in bounds, and all this stuff is not happening. But there's good news because he's not playing well. He's not playing well. And then just a few moments later, he set a key block on Will Harris, who's not horrible in run defense. He sets a key block on Will Harris that helps spring Jahmyr Gibbs. And there you have your Twitter highlights. You have seen those maybe where Jahmyr Gibbs actually was able to bust out and get a long run, thanks in huge part to Jameson Williams. And after practice, here's what Jameson had to say. I love this, and we're going to talk about it for a second. He said, that's Ben Johnson, offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions, told me something like in a meeting 2 days ago. Williams said of the Lions OC, he said, no block, no rock. And that's all I got to say. So basically what he's saying is if he wants to get the football, he's got to be willing to go out and block. And I think that is not just him. That's and we can get back to this article, but that's every wide receiver on this Lions team. They need to block because this is a team that, yes, passed the ball a lot last year, but running is extremely important to them. So this is also a team that needs to be running, and that takes the other 10 guys, well, 9, because the quarterback's not blocking, to be blocking and doing what they need to do in order to take okay runs into chunk runs, into big play runs. And then when you have a guy like Jahmyr Gibbs, you need your wide receivers to be all in, blocking downfield as far as they can, because he has the ability to pop it at any moment. And you don't want him to have to slow down in that thing. So this is huge. Jameson Williams needs to be a good blocker so that he can be on the field when blocking is the priority. So and it's a running play. That is massive. All right, so let's go back into what he then did at practice. So he has the good block. Seems like he's gaining some momentum. He beat Gardner-Johnson with a great release, got open several times in red zone drills. He caught a touchdown, which is good. The fans kind of were like, okay, thank you. After the early drop, they weren't thrilled with it. It's not easy, by the way. Amon-Ra St. Brown has been absolutely unbelievable this camp. Dude didn't drop a ball until like day 9 or day 10 of training camp, or day 8 or something like that. It is absolutely insane. So we're excited about that. So that's what it is. But here's what CJ Gardner-Johnson had to say about him that has me super, super excited. He said, I don't know about y'all, but Jameson Williams, he's one of the best receivers in the game right now. He's one of the best receivers in the game right now. You've got to give him his flowers. And if you don't, we'll see when he gets off what he got. He said that's the situation, not talking about it. And when he said not talking about it, he's referring to the situation with the suspension and all that kind of stuff. I'm not getting into it. I don't want to talk about that. But working out with him every day, J-Mo's ready. Don't worry about it. He ready. So you have one of the best DBs in the game. He's going out there and saying that Jameson Williams is one of the best receivers in the game. And I think what he's trying to say is Jameson Williams has ridiculous skill. He has ridiculous skill. And I completely agree with him. We all know that. It's just been one thing after another. And it seems like the fans are ready to give up on this guy. They don't want to talk about this guy. It's in let me wait till I see it mode. And part of me gets it. But at the same time, if he's the guy that's garnering news, I'm going to talk about him. Like if he's the guy that we're talking about and people are writing about, like we're going to talk about him because he is the guy that can take this offense from good to unbelievably good. He's the guy that takes the top off the defense, that helps Amon-Ra St. Brown, that's going to help the passing game underneath. In the mid-level, it's going to help the running game because you have to play safeties high. Like it completely changes what you can do on offense. So, yeah, I'm really excited about what he can do. And I think that it's frustrating that some people aren't seeing it that way. And they're just frustrated with him. Like I get it. It's not great. With the amount of suspensions that have happened with this gambling thing, what are we up to, like 10 now or something like that? Like, I think it's about time that we start recognizing that maybe this isn't all the player's fault. Like they should know to an extent. But at the same time, it's one of those things where 10 people, when have you ever seen 10 people suspended for anything else? Like, I don't know. You had the initial 4 or 5, and then there was another 4 or 5 or 6 or something like that. Like the NFL clearly didn't do a phenomenal job getting this out there and what it looks like with the NFL's gambling policy. But hopefully Jameson Williams can get back in there, get his name right, and just start being the big play threat that we hope he can be. All right, thanks. Like I said in the beginning of the video, subscribe if you haven't, leave a comment. Would love to have you part of the Sports Talk Detroit community. And we will see you on the next one.